Hey guys, Bert's on tour again. The Permission to Party World Tour, October 16th in Highland, California. October 17th, Glendale, Arizona. October 18th, Albuquerque. Avoid scalpers and go to bertbertbert.com to get your lowest ticket price.
My daughter, I had set up this little tea party thing, and she goes to Nanny, she goes, "Here's your margarita." And I was like,
oh my gosh.
And after me, I was like, so we do this, acting like a prim and proper family. And then there's my daughter. I was like, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming.
It actually worked out perfect. Kyle was coming in town, and so I was like, oh, I want to go on the podcast.
I love it. Well, thank you. I was so excited to talk to you. You are adorable, A. B, so wise.
Well, thank you. Some days.
Yeah, well, all of us some days. But so wise and so grounded.
I try. 2 kids keep you very grounded at this young age with our crazy lifestyle.
And they are 11 and...
Braxton's 10 and Lennox is 3.
Aww.
So yeah, they travel with us a lot. They're in Vegas, which we'll go back to right after this. Our son's actually racing at the bull ring where Kyle grew up racing. And so did his brother and his dad race there.
Oh my God.
So it's 3rd generation race there. So they're super excited. And then our daughter is currently in the hotel pool. So
nice.
Yes, she's living her best life.
I was going to say, she's probably not complaining.
No. They just sent me a picture. I'm like, she's got her own little drink and her own little sun lounger. She's all good.
That's awesome. So you have a podcast. It is called
Certified Oversharer. Thanks to you guys.
What a great name. Why thanks to us? What do you mean?
When we came on and we did Bert's show, Kyle just casually threw it out there. And I'm not going to lie, and I've told everybody this. I'm not just saying it because I'm on your podcast. But I mean, you guys, right? You do everything and you're so experienced. You guys could be like, yeah, okay, whatever. And just kept moving on. And both you guys stopped and you're like, wait, tell me about it. And I'll be completely honest. A lot of times when I do things with Kyle, right, I'm just Kyle's wife and I'm just there. And you guys were so nice and you took the time and you asked me all these questions. You showed me your studio and I had it in my mind that it was going to be just a fertility podcast since we battled infertility for over a decade. And then you guys were like, no, don't lock yourself in a box. Make sure, your name is a little more general. And I went home that night. Well, actually, we drove from here to Phoenix and I was doing notes and trying to figure everything out. And it was because of you guys that I completely switched directions. And I'm so happy I did because I still do fertility, but I left myself open. I've talked to people who specialize in hair loss and have gone through divorce or are a widow or just mom life. And so you guys showed me the way and you definitely didn't have to do that.
Oh,
so thank you.
Well, you're welcome. It's amazing title.
Thank you.
Certified
I overshare
Oversharer.
so much. It's awful.
It's not awful. It's actually not awful. I was talking to someone early this morning, and I said the same thing about myself. I'm like, I never meet a stranger.
Nope.
I can talk to a doorknob about navel lint all day. Mm-hmm. And I think part of that is it gives other people permission to go through what they're going through when you just say out loud what you went through, no matter what it is.
And you normalize the conversations. Mm-hmm. But I think as I get older, I lose more of my filter. And so we came up with Certified Oversharer because I was at one of my son's races. And I do a lot on social where I'll share, workouts and recipes. And this lady came up to me and she was like, hey, my husband and I loved your recipe. It was this breakfast bowl. And backtrack, I started eating red meat again last year after 25 years. So
wow.
I look at this lady, don't know who she is. And I'm like, since I've started eating red meat, my periods have come back and they're actually heavy and they're the right color. And she's just looking at me like, no, what? And so then I don't know why I word vomit. And I'm like, how are your periods? How's that going for you? And she was like, I just wanted to tell you I liked your recipe. And I was like, I'm sorry, that was awkward of me. And she just walked away. And my husband Kyle standing next to me, he's like, why do you do that? And I'm like, I don't actually know why I do that. It just comes out. And then after it comes out, I'm like, cringe. That was so awful.
But I think it's the best. It's probably my favorite quality of yours is that you're just yourself.
I am. I think when you battle so much stuff like infertility and we were so open about it and then hair loss and now I don't know if I'm going through perimenopause or what, but I'm on bioidentical hormones and all this crap. I'm like, I might as well just talk about it because I feel when I talk about it, then people on social give me tips and things to try. And then I'm able to try them and be like, here's what worked or not, because I'm always like, sure, inject that, try this. I'll try it and I'll let you know how it goes.
Right? So you started eating red meat again after how long?
I did 25 years.
20. So were you 3 when you stopped eating red meat?
Almost 40.
You're not 40.
I'm going to be 40 in June.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Planning the big 4-0 trip right now.
Where are you going to go?
I'm debating.
Okay.
So my dad is born in Italy. He came over like by boat when he was 6, all the things. So last year we got to go to Italy for the first time in our lives with my mom, dad, the kids, everybody, and go back to where my dad was born. Yeah, he lived outside of Naples in a town called Caivano. And it was crazy because when my dad, when we were growing up, he always talked about how they grew up so poor. And we just thought he was being dramatic, right? Like, oh, I walked uphill both ways, to school. And we got there and my mom and I literally were in tears. I mean, they lived 5 people in 1 bedroom. There was no bathroom. They had to go down like the street to their great aunt and uncle's house that had a bathroom. They showed me that, the whole place was falling down. They showed me that on the upper deck, there used to be a gentleman that cut hair. And at 4 years old, my dad would go up there and pick up the hair for him to get like, a dime or something, whatever it was. And so that was just really super eye-opening of kind of made a lot of sense of my childhood. Like, my dad always instilled in us, like, you have to work hard. You have to do it yourself. Like, it's got to be perfect. And now I see like where he came from. Mm-hmm. So all that to say, our 2 options are either we're going to go back to the Amalfi Coast because it just felt like home, or we were thinking about going to northern Italy. So yeah.
That's exciting.
I'm very excited.
Italy's amazing.
It was my favorite place.
I can't believe you're 40. So why did you stop eating red meat?
Oh, back then. Yeah. I was just a pain in the ass tween. And I will never forget, we were on a road and you know how they have the cow trucks? Mm-hmm. And we were stuck in traffic and I was being dramatic and I was like, I'm never eating red meat again. That's so sad. And I don't know, I stuck to my guns for 25 years and didn't eat red meat. My parents were so annoyed.
So why did you go back to eating it?
I was craving it. I don't know if that's hormonal or what, but last year we were actually in Vegas and I was, it was our whole family there and Kyle ordered a steak and my son ordered a steak and they were like, you got to try it. And I was like, you know what? It actually looks really freaking good. And now I eat a steak like every day.
I know. I did something similar, not 25 years, but I was a vegetarian for 2.5 years. And I was anemic the whole time I was a vegetarian. And one day I just was craving red meat. Bye, baby doll. You can't hear, but Bert's yelling from the front door. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to eat some red meat. And I never went back again.
Oh, I love it.
Your body really needs it.
It really does. And like, if there's days that it's been 3 or 4 days, I literally can like smell it and crave it. I'm like, I have to have steak. Mm-hmm. But now the boys are into hunting. So we have like just a deep freezer full of bison. So we eat bison everything.
Bison's delicious.
It is. And I'm like, okay, I can't go out and buy any meat because I've got 350 pounds of this and that seems like a waste. So yeah, we eat bison everything. Like literally everybody's kind of sick of it at this point, but we're still chugging along.
So besides getting your period back, were you not having a period at all before you started eating red meat?
I wasn't. And also part of it was, I think we talked about before, this is obviously a wig. I'm still battling hair loss and stuff.
Not obviously.
Yes,
it's my gorgeous.
Wig. It's really funny because like I had a car service grab me from the airport to come here and I'm sitting in the back and I'm just brushing this hair and putting it on. And you can just see the guy in the front. He's like, what is she doing? Yeah. I also like scare people. The second I get done with stuff, I just like take it off and throw it on the dashboard always whenever I go somewhere. And it's like, it looks like a dead animal up there.
That's so funny. Mm-hmm. This morning, I wish I had a wig because I'm having one of those hair days where it's just not cooperating. It's just flat and it's just like, I have some days where my hair just won't do anything. It won't cooperate. I blow dry it. I got like a curling iron brush on it and it just literally went,
no thanks.
Yeah, no, we're just going to lay flat today.
Yeah.
Product in it. And it looks like I just woke up. So
that's the best part about wigs. I have like 5 of my girls lined up on stands. They're curled, ready to go. And they just, it's kind of funny. My husband loves it. He's like, man, it doesn't take you like hardly any time to get ready anymore. Because you don't wash them, but every like 3 to 6 months.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know. And this, I haven't even curled this one in probably 3 weeks.
Wow.
I know. It's pretty bomb. If you're going to deal with hair loss, might as well make the best out of it.
So why do you have hair loss?
Well, they're still not sure. I've been to every doctor, every functional medicine, all the things. It's kind of fascinating. But I think at the core of it, they have found doing a lot of hormone testing. I have really high estrogen, like estrogen dominance, and low progesterone. And you obviously need progesterone and stuff for things to function. So yeah, I've hit that age where I'm like putting the hormone cream on all the places.
Yeah,
so
I'm with you.
Here we are.
I'm 15 years older, but I'm with you.
So yeah, I was like, great. So we'll see if that helps. I think hopefully it will.
How long have you been suffering from hair loss?
Over 3 years.
Okay, so pretty recent.
Yeah, it started real fast and furious about 3 years ago. Went to do some normal testing and got put on a bunch of like high-powered, it's basically think of Rogaine. So it's like a high-powered version of that mixed with some other stuff. I was doing topical, oral, all that for 2 years. It was great. Like my hair grew back. Granted, it grew back so different. Coarse, curly, and mostly gray.
Wow. It's like a gray fro?
Not the gray. The grays only are like straight down here, which is lovely. But my hair, before it fell out again, was so curly and so big. And I loved it. I was like, okay, great. And then about April of this year, and this is why I think it's hormones and my TMI, I had my period for 17 days. Like
what?
On and off. It was so bizarre. And then as that was happening, it was just, I would touch my hair and it would be handfuls. And that's been going on, since April. But now starting the progesterone, they're hoping in the next couple months that'll subside. So
okay, good.
We'll see. But I've tried everything. And I'm doing those like peptides too now. Those are fancy.
The fancy peptides. The GL whatever.
Mine's like a glow stack, it's called.
Oh.
So they found I was copper deficient and it has copper in it.
Nice.
I don't know. Like I said, I'm like, I'll try it.
Is it like an industrial glow up?
Well, that's like a glow up from the inside out, I guess. It's got copper and some other minerals and stuff in it. So I was like, okay.
That's pretty cool.
We'll try it. I've done one of those full body scans. Have you seen those?
I just had one.
I loved it.
I got my results this morning.
Oh, all good.
It was awesome. All good.
Yeah, same. I was like waiting to find something really weird on like a gland. And I was like, that's the hair loss.
Yep.
None of that. Did it freak you out when they put that thing on your head?
I went to sleep. I took like 4 naps. I kept having to go, Mrs. Kreischer, wake up. Can you hold your breath? I mean, every time, because I was like, I'm so tired. And I was like, perfect.
You're like, this is a great nap.
I'm taking a nap.
See, I'm claustrophobic. I was great till they put that thing on. And even though it's completely open and I was fine, but also the lady was like, are you going to be okay? I'm like, literally Kyle drove me from Charlotte to Atlanta. I'm like, if my ass does not stay in this tube, he's going to be so mad. So I was like, yeah, I'm fine. I literally can't get out even if I wanted to. My husband will kill me at this point.
Right? I got it. Yeah, mine was good. Mine was all good. Yeah, I was absolutely positive they were going to be like, you have dementia. Because
or something big, right?
Yeah, postmenopausal, I cannot remember numbers or do math. And I was like, I was cool with that before menopause. And now I'm like, I can remember phone numbers that I knew before, but I can't remember like if someone says, like the bill was $38.49. That's already gone.
Yeah, I'm not listening to that.
What was it, $25? I have no idea what you just said. But I was never like that before menopause.
That's so interesting.
So it is interesting. But yeah, my brain looked good. It had a couple little white spots in it, but she was like, this is just typical for aging. This is not a red flag. This is nothing, but I just have to point it out. Your brain is aging, but you're 55, so it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, nothing. I was so happy to hear it.
I was too. I think that's incredible. I really think that should just be something covered by insurance for everybody. Like every 3 years. Yes. Every 3 years, everybody gets a scan, and I feel like we're preventative, not reactive.
Even every 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, just some regularity.
Yes.
And I didn't have any reason to go except that I'm 55. And I was like, here's where things start.
Yep.
When you hit your mid-50s, this is where you start having high cholesterol. This is where you start having high blood pressure. This is where you start. So maybe everything will be healthy, and then I'll have a base.
That's what I said, like a good baseline that then every couple of years you can look at. And that's exactly what, well, like I said, I went because I was like, I'm for sure there's got to be something on some weird gland that this is causing this. And the only like weird thing they found, like, you have a cyst in your left shoulder. I'm like, what? They're like, does it bother you? I'm like, not at all. And they're like, okay,
that's fine.
This is what you got. I'm like, okay. perfect. So no findings there. But like when you're going through hair loss, you're like, okay, I'm going to try to turn over every stone. So I did. And I think it's really the hormones. And I had gone to a regular OB and even a endocrinologist. But it was when I went to this lady that she used to be in regular medicine and then started her own practice and mixes a little bit of both, but she has like a very holistic take on things too. And so she was like, let's deep dive these hormones. And we did like the saliva test and all that stuff. So it's kind of cool because you get the best of both worlds.
Right. That's very cool.
Yeah.
And is she local to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
But I'm like a big holistic doctor girl because I'm like, let's like even, and it makes sense. I'm like, okay, so the regular dermatologist 3 years ago put me on all this stuff for my hair. And that was great, but it never did the root cause, right? Like something had to be why the hair loss started.
Sure.
And it was more a Band-Aid. And then my body finally was like, no. And then, I did a hair DNA test. So they like swab your cheek and it shows specifically for hair loss. And so it was weird. Like the stuff that I was on, my body's actually not compatible with whatsoever. And they were like, that's probably why at first, it was like, okay, working a little bit. And then after 2 years, your body was like, this is toxic. Like we're done now.
Right.
So I'm like, that's fascinating. But there's other hair medicines in the same category, different, chemical makeup or whatever that my body does work with.
How about that?
I know, it's fascinating.
Medicine is so cool these days.
Right?
And there's so much about women they just haven't studied.
Well, I was like, I think that's part of the point is like women's health is always on the back burner. And so now I feel like we're all advocating for ourselves and be like, no, I want this test. Let's try this. I did this. What do you think? And you really have to nowadays.
I agree. You totally have to. Picture this. It's midnight and you're lying in bed, scrolling through this new website you found, hitting the add to cart button on that item you've been looking for. After 15 minutes, you decided you've done enough damage to your wallet and decide to check out. You remember that your wallet card is in the living room and you don't want to get out of bed to go get it. Just as you're getting ready to abandon your cart, that's when you see it. That purple shop button, that has all your payment and shipping information saved, saving you time while you stay warm in bed. That's Shopify. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it. Because Shopify makes everything easier from checkout to creating your own storefront. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. Shopify gives you that leg up from day one with hundreds of beautiful, ready-to-go templates to express your brand style and forget about the code. Tackle all those important tasks in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics and more. And did I mention that iconic purple Shop Pay button that's used by millions of businesses around the world? It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. Your customers already love it. We've been using Shopify for years. It's such an easy, user-friendly platform for me as a business owner, someone who sells online. I can track my inventory. I can track my shipments. It's so easy to use. If you're thinking about starting an online business, Shopify's a great place to start. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/wife. Go to shopify.com/wife. Shopify.com/wife. So who's been your favorite guest you've had so far on your podcast?
Oh, great question. I mean, honestly, I've liked everyone because they've all brought something so different. Like I said, I've talked to women who went through divorces that they were still kind of in the midst of. I've talked to women who've battled severe hair loss. I've talked to I'm a whopping 12 episodes in, so I'm acting like I've done this for forever.
No, but that's a lot.
Yeah, but it was fun. I was telling everyone downstairs. So we did a whopping one whole season of a reality show back in the day.
You did?
Yeah. Funny. It was called Racing Wives.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, it was it was fun. It was great. But we had never, as a cast, gotten together and talked just about what that was like. And it was 5 years ago now. And so I brought part of the cast on and we learned so much because obviously it was, your typical wives, like think Basketball Wives, whatever show. So they pitted us against each other a lot, right? And we learned when we were there, we started talking, for example, about this dinner. And I remembered my call time was 4 because my son was young. And I was like, I need to be home to put him in bed like by 8. And they're like, oh yeah, the dinner's at 5. You'll film for 2 hours. You'll have plenty of time. Well, these 2 girls who they pitted us against, they didn't show up till 7. So by then I'm like annoyed, because now I'm like calling my mom because Kyle's out of town. Can you get the baby? All the things. And they were like, no, our call time was 7. And so we're like, oh, they screwed with us. Like, so we realized it 5 years later. And we're like, oh, that makes a lot more sense now. They were like, we wouldn't show up 3 hours late. And I was like, well, I thought like, man, that's like a big time to show up late. It's not like 30 minutes because of traffic. So we learned stuff like that. So that was kind of funny. And, or we talked about different scenes and they're like, we didn't say that. And I was like, oh, so I don't know. It was water under the bridge and we're all friends. Like we were before and after the show, but it's funny now to be like, oh, okay, we got played a little bit there.
That was the producer.
Yeah.
That was not you.
Gotcha.
Well, I would imagine the community in racing is pretty small.
It is.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. There's, it is small. It's a close-knit community and we're a traveling circus. So a lot of people ask this question, like, how do you get to the races? So a lot of us will fly in and we have our motorhomes there. And so all of us are in a big motorhome lot. So the kids play together. You're literally like right next door. Like you could touch the bus next to you sometimes. And so it's great when, your kids have friends and there's things to do, but then it's also awkward as heck when, your husbands wreck each other. Then you're like, hey,
sorry about that.
Yeah. Literally one time my husband got like in a physical altercation with another driver. And the next weekend I saw his wife and I was like, hi, what do you say? You know what I mean? I was like, okay.
How's that barbecue on the new bus?
Right? Yeah. So how's the kids? I'm like, oh, but besides that, it's pretty cool.
How did you meet Kyle?
We met, oh my gosh, I was a baby. I had just finished up my junior year in college. And going back to my dad and how we grew up, we grew up very hard workers. My mom was a nurse. My dad did construction. And so for college, I worked 4 jobs. We had to pay for that somehow, And so one of my jobs was I worked for a promo agency. And I went to Purdue, which is kind of central Indiana. So they would send me on the weekends. If I didn't work somewhere on campus for an event, they would send me to Chicago, which was 2 hours away, or Indy was an hour away. And so they hired me for 3 different, it was Chevy, Sprint, and Allstate at the Brickyard, the race. And I was working for Chevy and got there first time at a racetrack and had a little Chevy shirt on, my black shorts. And there was about 50 of us and they assigned us to all different things, okay, you 5 girls are going here and you guys are going here. And the whole part is for brand awareness, hype up the crowd. And so my job was people were going to go for a ride along, not in a race car. I need to preface this. It was just a regular Chevy car, but it was going around the racetrack. I mean, I don't know if my appearance here shows you anything. I'm a girly girl. Sports are not my thing. So we get through the line and this lady comes over and she's like, hey, do you want to go for a ride? And I was like, sure. Yeah, that sounds cool, right? You're in college. So we go for a ride and I get in the car and this guy has the same shirt on as me and we're the same age. We look, similar in age. And if you know my husband at all, he's not a big talker. And I'm a very big talker. So for 4 laps, I was like, I go to Purdue. Where do you go to school? And And oh my gosh, a group of us promo models are going out tonight. Do you want to come with us? And blah, blah, blah. It's just Had no idea who he was. No idea what he did.
How funny.
And afterwards, this girl comes up and she's like, oh, that guy wants your number. And I was like, oh, cool. Maybe he wants to come to the bars with us, I was 21, right? It was a little wild.
Yeah. You were 21.
I was 21.
You were just being 21.
And so anyways, long story short, he's like, I have to work. And I was like, okay, whatever. Find out who he is. And I got so awkward. And I also need to preface, this is 2007. Okay. There's no Instagram.
Right.
There's no social stalking, right?
No.
None of that. So for 4 months, I got awkward because I'm like, his nickname's Rowdy. He's a professional athlete. There's nothing good that is going to come of this.
Right.
I had just dated a frat boy who had cheated on me. And I was like, this just does not seem like my smartest move right now.
Right.
You know, I just got my heart broken. And so we talked on the phone for like 4 months and he was like, just come to a race. And finally I was like, okay, fine. Went to a race. We just hit it off. And then he was like, will you come next week? And I was like, okay. Cause I was in my senior year by this point. So I never had Friday classes. I was like, okay. And then it was his off season. And so then he started coming to campus. Then we spent the holidays together. And then going into my senior year, we kind of were just long distance, still kind of casual. And then as the year progressed, it got a little more serious. And then I was getting ready to graduate and I had gotten accepted to a number of different grad schools. And so I was thinking about going to the University of Miami. And he was like, why don't you move in with me instead? And I was like, what? Like, I've worked so hard and I'm going to grad school. And then, you know, I remember one time I was leaving North Carolina, I was crying at the airport, just like your Hallmark movie. And he's like, I love you. And I was like, okay, I'll move. And my parents were like, what the heck? No, you're not. And I was like, I'm in love. And they're like, you're 21. You're so stupid. You need to go to school. And I was like, I can't. Like, he's my soulmate. You know, all the things.
I love it. That's adorable.
Yeah. So I ended up, I got my master's still.
Nice.
I did it online, which was like not what it is now. I remember everybody being like, you can't go to school online and get this degree. And now everybody goes to school online. I was like, I was just ahead of the times.
You were.
And then, we got engaged shortly after. And we are actually just talking about on the plane right here. We will be married 15 years this year.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats.
Thanks. Yeah. So that's our story.
That's a long time. That's wonderful.
It was really funny. We were both looking at each other and I was like, we've been married 13 years. And he was like, yeah, no, it was a 12 or 13. And then we looked and we're like, no, we got married in 2010. It's definitely going to be 15 years. I was like, oh, so it's a big anniversary and a 40th all in one. So
all in one.
Mama gets to go somewhere cool. That's what that means.
For sure. That's awesome. That's a great story. That's very sweet.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. So
what made you think he was your soulmate? What was it about the connection or what was it?
You know, I think it's still to this day, we think very similarly and we each have tics, but our tics match up, if that makes sense. So like whether it's, you know, how you live together or different things like that. And then we're also complete opposites on some things. So like I'm very talkative. He's kind of quiet. He's quick to be like spun out by stuff. And I'm like, no, hold on. Like, let's, you know, and so we kind of complement each other in that way. And then, I don't know, it's just one of those things like that time at the airport and we were only going to be apart for 2 weeks. I just was like sobbing and I was like, I love you. And then we're both kind of crying. It was just like a whole thing. And
oh my God.
We're like, okay, we love each other. You know, when you're 21, like you really love each other.
Oh yeah. It's like no other.
Yeah.
Right. And then yes, that's such a beautiful story. That's really, really cool. You're lucky.
Yeah. And then we've been through a lot together, you know. We battled infertility for over a decade. Kyle, as we were going through that, got in a really bad wreck in Daytona. He broke his right tib and fib and shattered his left foot.
Oh my God.
As I was pregnant. And then so it was like going through that. And then we had our son. And then we went through multiple like miscarriages, failed cycles. We ended up having a gestational carrier for our daughter. So like, I feel like in our marriage too, there's been times like when I've needed to be his rock and then, you know, he needed to be my rock. And that's just kind of, I think, what's helped build our marriage.
That's what healthy marriages are supposed to be, I think, is that it's not always 50-50. Sometimes it's 80-20.
Right.
And then sometimes it's 20-80.
Yeah.
And if you're able to do all of those variations, you're with the right person.
Yeah.
Right? It's so lovely to be happily married.
I love him to pieces. I mean, we were coming out here and sometimes it's fun when it's like just you guys because I hate flying. It was a super bumpy flight. He's over there like giggling because he thinks it's hilarious when I'm petrified to fly. And I'm like, So yeah. And he's off doing one podcast and I'm here. So it all worked out perfect.
It did work. It's perfect for me. I was so happy when Christine told me you were coming. I was like, yes. Yes, I'm so excited because I enjoyed our conversation when you were here doing Something's Burning so much. And then we'd seen you at the racetrack.
Yeah, what did you guys think of the race?
Oh, it was so fun.
Good.
Oh,
good.
I loved it. We loved it. Where were we?
Charlotte.
Yes, Charlotte. That's right. That's right. It was amazing. It was really fun.
I try to tell people because you see it on TV and you're like, oh, it's just cars going in circles. And I'm like, no, it's not. Like when you come and you hear it and you see the pit crew and there's such an energy at each track, like you need to go experience it in person.
I think I will add to that. I agree with everything you just said, but we stayed inside the track and we walked around day and night, and the people inside the track are there with their whole family.
Yep.
They have come with a plan. It's like camping, except at an event. Everyone was friendly, was welcoming, was happy.
Yep.
There were no crappy people there. So the environment at NASCAR was so family positive and happy. It was just such a happy place to be.
I'm glad you got that experience because that's like NASCAR fans are the greatest fans and their tailgating is epic.
Yeah.
Like there's a track called Talladega. It's in Alabama and they will set up for Talladega. And when I tell you, there are like bars and lights and this, and you're right, people just like meander and everybody's like, come have a drink, try this. And like there's kids that even my son has gone out before because there's parks at some of the tracks and just ends up like hanging out with kids and playing. And it's just like you said, this really family atmosphere. It's very welcoming. It's really fun. I'm sure you guys loved it because the food that they make at some of these tailgates is like top notch.
Yeah, it was bananas.
Top notch. Yeah,
it was all the school buses that have been converted into like rolling homes. Amazing. People have decks on top so they can sit on top and watch the track. And I don't think you have to be a NASCAR fan to go to a NASCAR event and have a really good time.
I totally agree. I tell people that, and especially like some girlfriends are like, I'm not going to like it. Like I don't like sports. And I'm like, no. Just come for the like fun part. Like I don't even care if you watch the race. Like let that go on in the background. And if you go there and tailgate, it is an absolute blast.
It is fun. And then when the cars start, when the noise of it and the vibration in the air is really exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's really like nothing else. I mean, when are you maybe at a monster truck pull or something where you feel that kind of power just in the air?
Yeah.
It's just everywhere.
It's awesome.
It's electric.
Good. I'm glad you guys had a good time.
Are you kidding? We had a blast. We might be doing more things with NASCAR, just saying.
Ooh.
No, really, we are. But just nothing's been announced yet. But for sure.
Well, yay. That makes me happy.
Yes.
We're racing San Diego next year at a naval base, I think.
No way.
It's the first time on the schedule. So I think that's going to be really neat. So they try to pick different places every year that we haven't gone to. So my favorite that they've done so far, because I'm from around Chicago, they closed down the streets of Chicago and did a full road course there.
Wow.
So that was so cool. And it was crazy. Like the hotel that they put all the drivers at, we're walking around getting food and Kyle and I are looking at this building. We're like, that looks so familiar. And we're like, oh, that was our wedding reception venue. It was like right next door. It was so cool. And so we take Brexton because it was really cool. It was the original public library. And one of the mayor's wives back in the day made it a historical landmark so they could never tear it down because it has a Tiffany dome in it.
Wow.
So like we take Brexton and Kyle and I think it's so cool. And he's like, cool. Can I go to the Lego store now? And we're like, yeah, fine.
Okay,
all right.
fine. Whatever. This is part of your origin story, but
I know.
Whatever.
He was like thoroughly unimpressed. But that was really cool because I mean, they went by the fountain and past all the big museums. And that was pretty neat. So every couple of years they try a different venue just so you're in a different market. And it's really neat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you ever driven a race car?
No, I'm the worst driver ever. Yes, I say, like, I married a NASCAR driver. I do not have to drive. I never, like, there's never a time that Kyle and I get in the car together. He might race like 500 miles at a race. So like Bristol, right? And then it's a 3.5 hour ride home. He will drive.
Wow.
He hates my driving. I don't blame him.
Why?
I was just a shitty driver.
Why? What do you mean? Are you slow?
No.
Are you sloppy?
I must have like a touch of like ADD because I just will be driving and like, I don't know. I'm not the best. And I can't park to save my life.
That's hysterical.
I literally, so my garage stall, I can cut through the driveway and under the little pass and pull straight in. Well, the other day I had to drive Kyle's car and his is like, you have to turn and back it up. And he's got a big SUV. I was like, I go inside. Kyle's not there. I get my son Brex, who's 10. I'm like, can you park this?
He's 10?
No, he's a great driver.
He's a race car driver.
He's a race car driver.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, mom, move. And I was like, thank you. I don't know why. Like, I have no sense of like, if somebody's like, that's 6 inches away. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
Like that is just my downfall in life. I've never been a good driver. I mean, like I feel like I'm cautious and I do my best, right? My kids are in my hands and I do well. But like I took my daughter out to eat the other day. It's this like little outdoor, it's really cute. It's got like restaurants and shops. And my mom came, we're having a girls' day. And there was parallel parking. I'm like, I could do this. My car like parallel parks itself. 20 minutes later, I had to literally pay $10 for a valet to go get a fast food salad because I was like, I can't actually do this. Like,
it's just not your skill set.
No, it was not. I was over the curb. I almost hit the other car. People are behind me beeping. So then I'm sweating.
Yes.
And I was like, literally the valet guy was like, okay, just, the drill in a couple hours. I was like, no, sir. It's like a to-go salad that we're going to eat real quick and be right back. He's like, I'll just leave your car out front. And he goes, you're one of those non-parallel parkers, aren't you? And I was like, yep.
Maybe.
Yep. I was like, that's how you people make your money here. People like me can't park.
He sees you coming.
He did. It was really embarrassing. I was like, oh, and I told Kyle and my son Brexton, as you mentioned, he races. And Brexton was like, Mom, did anybody see you do that? And I was like, nobody who knows you, kid. Don't worry about it.
Right. You're in the clear.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the clear.
He's at that age where I'm like embarrassing in all that I do. You know?
Yes, I know. It comes back around.
Yeah.
Once they get into college, sophomore year of college, they start going, oh, hold on. I think my mom knows maybe everything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the sophomore year of college, not freshman year.
No, freshman year, they're still figuring out.
Year. Freshman year, they're like, I have my freedom. You will not hear from me. You will think I am dead in a ditch before I call you and say I'm okay. They just, or at least both my daughters were like, gone freshman year, radio silent. I'd have to threaten them. If you don't call me, I'm calling the police.
Right. Like, where are you?
Yes. And then sophomore year, both of them were like, so Mom, remember we were talking about blah, blah, blah? Well, I need help with that and for everything. So it's kind of cool. You have to let them leave so that they can come back,
Well, and I feel like girls are so much more independent. Well,
like, I don't have a boy.
My 3-year-old is already, Lennox is so independent. Like she potty trained herself at 2. She decided like she can figure out how to start tying her shoes, like all the things where my son, I mean, my gosh, if I would still like hand feed him most days, he'd be like, sure, go for it. Like, this is great. But now it's funny because he's entering he's 10, but I think because he races and hangs out with older kids, like we're already in that tween mode, So like if I come to the track, it's like you can't talk to him when his friends are around. There's like a lot of unwritten rules now. Right. And then in Victory Lane, he won and I kissed him like on the cheek. I was like, I'm so proud of you. And I gave him a quick kiss and he was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I love you. I'm so proud of you. And he was like, Mom. And there's like these like 16-year-old boys that he races with that like Brex thinks are so cool. And he was like, they were watching. And I was like, oh, their moms kiss them too. Stop. Right? Stop. You'll don't even know. Right?
You'll be totally fine. Who do you want to have on your podcast that you haven't?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. Oh my gosh, you put me on the spot. I might have to think about that one.
Put it out. We should put it out there.
I think somebody like Kristen Cavallari would be really cool.
She's awesome. Yeah.
I think because she's unapologetically herself. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I take a lot of inspiration in that. I feel like when I started in this sport, you had to grow thick skin, especially with social, right? Mm-hmm. And that took me a number of years. Like, I don't think I could have started a podcast 5-6 years ago. I wasn't comfortable still, like with saying my truths all the time. And I feel like she owns it. And no matter what anybody else says, she's like, I don't care. I don't care if you don't like it. I don't care if you don't like me. Like, this is how I am.
Right.
And I feel like as you get older, you embrace that a lot more.
You are right. I think as you get older, you embrace it. Yes, that is absolutely very wise. I wish that, part of me wishes that you could really give that wisdom to a 20-year-old, but you really have to earn it.
1,000%. You have to go through life to get there.
You do.
That's what I've realized. You can't, like you said, you can't tell your kids like, oh, this is that. They have to experience it for themselves in order to grow into that.
100%. It's living life is the only way you learn, right? Yeah. You have to live it.
And you have to let them make mistakes.
Yes, you do.
I think that's like my hard part as a mom being so type A is like letting them make mistakes or like letting them do it on their own. I'm such an Italian mom. I'm like, just let me do it. Just let me do it. But I'm like, no. step back, like make them, and we homeschool and stuff. And so I'm like a real big believer on, this doesn't sound so bad, but there are just some stuff that they teach in school nowadays that I'm like, this is useless. We're not doing this. Like nobody needs to know this.
Yeah.
But I want them to learn like life things. So we have like a garden. My son is really into like survival skills.
Nice.
Like whittled a spear. I don't know. But I'm like, you know what? You learned how to do that. And I taught him how to cook. And I'm like, let's learn how to do your own laundry, right? Like I'd rather we do budgeting and stuff. I'm like, I'd rather you be a functioning person than know what a predicate is at the end of the day.
Oh, totally.
Because I still don't know what a predicate is.
Right? Predicate's a verb.
Okay, well, see, ChatGPT would find that for me.
Predicate is the same as a verb.
Okay, well, thank you. We definitely skipped that part of his school.
Okay.
I was like,
I haven't even heard the word predicate in 40 years. So to your point, it's not a very used or useful word.
No.
Just use the word verb. Yeah. I don't understand why you have to have two words.
It doesn't have to be that fancy.
Yeah.
But that day instead, I was like, let's go learn how to make something. Like, let's go, because he loves being in the kitchen with me and my daughter does too. And I'm like, that's something in your life skill set that you will actually need. Where this, I was like, I can bet my life on it. You are not going to grow up to be an English teacher. Like I see the writing on the wall. That's not happening for you.
Right.
So let's like go to your wheelhouse. Or like he has a sim at home, which is like it's not AI. It's like not video game either because they're in a real driver's seat and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, you need to go practice that. Like those are things to build your career because obviously he wants to do what his dad does.
Right.
So, we do things like that.
But that's awesome. Yeah. I think unfortunately modern educational system is getting a lot of things wrong. Mm-hmm. One of the things that they've done, at least here in California, is they've eliminated home ec. And home ec, I learned so much in my home ec class that I use today.
Yes, 1,000%. If a button falls off, I can get a button back on.
100%.
Can't park my car, but I can put a button back on.
Yes. At home ec, I had a home ec class. I had shop class that was required.
Yes.
And I had a class called basic math that was like budgeting, basic bookkeeping, how to file your tax returns, how to fill out a bank loan. At the time, it was all pen and paper, y'all. So you had to fill it out.
Right.
But nothing like that exists now. Now they're like teaching, an in-depth government class. And we obviously need to know how the U.S. government works. But we've been taught U.S. history and government every 2 years since like 4th grade.
Right.
So at a certain point, couldn't you like finish that up in 10th grade and then in 12th grade when you have to take it again, do some life skill stuff?
I love life skill stuff. Like we did with him. Okay, you own a race team. Here's how much your sponsor gave you. Here's your employees. Here's what you need. And he was like, well, Mom, I need to hire another guy, but I can't get the car to the racetrack. I'm like, that is real life. Because Kyle and I used to own a race team. I'm like, this is real life budgeting, Right. And like he loves fishing and stuff like that. And I'm like, I'd much rather them do all that. And then, we're Christian. We get to add that into our curriculum. So I love homeschool. And I'm not going to sit here and I know there's probably people listening and they're like, oh, I could never be that patient. I'm not either. We have a tutor. I help when I can, but also your kids think you're the dumbest person and a tutor's right, except nobody at the hotel the other weekend could get the math problem right except Mom.
Oh, there you go.
Except Mom.
Mic drop.
Yeah. And then I was like, I told you. I told you I knew all this. Like, because I love school. I graduated top of my class. Like, I love school. The only reason I don't do full-time homeschool with him is because we have like 9 other jobs. And also your kids, they're like, you could tell them to spell the, and they're like, that's not how it's spelled.
Well, they need to learn from someone else.
Yeah.
They need to have an authority figure that is not a parent.
Yes.
That is in charge of something in their life. A Girl Scout, Boy Scout troop leader, a coach in a sport. They've got to have some adult that is a good example, that is a good leader.
Right. That
can mentor your kids, a pastor, anything.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah, I agree with you. Another big failings I think of the educational system these days is the reduction of vocational schools for kids who don't have the luxury of being homeschooled, are going to public school. There's nothing wrong with the public school system.
Public school, yep.
I'm a public school kid. Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with it, except now I feel like there is stuff wrong with it in that there's no track for a kid that wants to be a plumber.
Yep. My dad did construction.
Yep.
And I always tell people like you said, electrician. My uncles are electricians. That was what my whole family, always did. And I'm like, those are the jobs. Like they're always building stuff. People are always going to need, like you said, plumbers, electricians. Like, and I feel like that's something that people don't focus on anymore. No. And I'm like, how the hell do you think those buildings are going to get up? Like, right? Somebody has to do those.
Somebody's got to do it.
It's great jobs, And my dad loved it. He did stone laying, and my gosh, my dad's like the handiest person. He came over the other day. We do projects when Kyle's gone because I'm that person who redoes the house all the time. And then we don't tell him.
Oh my gosh.
We just like don't tell him and wait for him to figure it out. So we did like a backsplash the other day because my dad's like, oh, I know how to do that. And we had some leftover tile. And so him and I just, did that. And then it was literally like a couple weeks later. And Kyle's like, has that always been white? And I was like, yeah. How do you not know that? This is your own house.
That's hysterical.
Are you sure? And I'm like, I don't know how you don't know that.
That's really
We did that to a bathroom before, like a guest bedroom bathroom that he never really went in. And he was like, wait, when we bought the house, wasn't this brown? I was like, nope. It's always been teal. Don't know where you've been living the last 12 years.
Mystery.
Jeez.
Big mystery. That's so funny. Fall is here, and with it comes cooler nights, heartier meals, and the craving for something warm and satisfying. That's where HelloFresh comes in, bringing you comforting, chef-designed recipes and fresh seasonal ingredients right to your door. This season, they've taken things to the next level with their biggest menu refresh yet. Say hello to a whole new way to do dinner. Bigger. HelloFresh has doubled its menu. Now you can choose from 100 options each week, including new seasonal dishes and recipes from around the world. Dig into bigger portions that'll keep everyone satisfied. Healthier. Feel great with an even healthier menu filled with high-protein and veggie-packed recipes. HelloFresh now helps you eat greener with new veggie-packed recipes that have 2 or more veggies. Tastier. Get steak and seafood recipes delivered every week for no extra cost. There's 3 times more seafood on the menu now and at no extra cost. Discover new seasonal produce each week, from snap peas to stone fruit to corn on the cob and more. I have college students. I sent my college students a box of HelloFresh. You know why? They get a box every week. It's 3 meals a week. It's healthy, it's sourced fresh, and it's less expensive than paying for them to eat out all the time. And they're learning how to cook. It's such a great plan. The best way to cook just got better. Go to HelloFresh.com/wife10FM now to get 10 free meals plus a free item for life. 1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as discount on the first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's HelloFresh.com/wife10FM to get 10 free meals plus a free item for life. Do you have siblings?
I do. Okay, so that's funny you say that because he lives in Minnesota. So he used to live in Charlotte, and he was like, no, I'm good. Where when we started talking about having kids, I was like, okay, Mom, like, you guys have to move down. Like, I can't have a kid by myself. And because like my grandma's always watched me growing up. And so they moved at first. They were 30 minutes away, and then 20 minutes away, and then 10 minutes away. And then finally there was, we call it like an old people's community. It's like 55 and older. My parents are like the young bucks there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They're like the studs of the neighborhood. But that opened up, and it's literally less than a mile away. And my parents are like, perfect. So they're literally at our house right now with our dogs.
That's awesome.
Yes. I have the best parents in the world.
That's so great. Mm-hmm. They've been married a long time.
Very long time. 42 years next week.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is your brother older or younger?
He's 7 years younger.
Oh,
so
okay.
Kyle's 7 years younger than his brother. I'm 7 years older than my brother. And we always prayed. We're like, we don't want our kids that far apart. And we always say like, man plans and God laughs, because our kids are 8 days off of being exactly 7 years apart.
What?
Yeah.
How funny.
Yeah. So we always joke if Lennox races, her number would be 777.
Oh, that's awesome.
Plus Kyle's like a Vegas kid. So, we're like marketing people here. Like our son, we named him Brexton, and then we do B-Rex, and his little race logo, the R is a T-Rex.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. We're like marketing people over here.
You got a good brain like that. Creative brain. That's super creative. Do you think your daughter will race?
I don't know. She adores it right now because her brother hung the moon, right? Like her brother is the greatest thing ever. Even though they fight like cats and dogs, she just adores him. Mm-hmm. So she's only 3, but yeah, at 2, she was like, they already race around the neighborhood. She has this like, when I was growing up her age, there was this old Barbie Corvette. It was pink. And I went on for her second birthday on eBay, found it.
Oh my
And
God.
Kyle's dad helped me like restore it. And then they souped it up so it'd go really fast. And we actually had this video go completely viral. Lennox, we didn't realize it went fast. And she had just turned 2 and she is like hauling ass down the neighborhood. Nobody can catch her. And they try to like turn it off on her and she's like gassing it. And Kyle and Brex are like chasing her. And that thing just went everywhere.
How
like,
crazy.
Yeah. I think it was like Good Morning America or something. Like,
oh my goodness.
had it on. Like it was everywhere.
How fun.
Yeah. So she loves it. She absolutely loves it. But I don't know. I have her in dance, gymnastics, karate. I'm like, girl, whatever you want to try. You're 3. You don't need to know your life yet.
Heck no.
No.
Plenty of time. That's so cool you homeschool your kids. You're not there's someone else that we just had here for Something's Burning. Megan Trainor. She homeschools her kids too. She has like a little schoolhouse in her attic.
Yep, we do too.
Yeah?
Yep,
Oh,
we
yeah?
have like a little room and it's just all dedicated to their school stuff. But for us, so Kyle races 38 weeks out of the year for NASCAR, but then Braxton races way more. So last year, Braxton raced almost 150 races.
Whoa.
Yeah, and across the country and not including his practice or test days. And people are always like, oh, you're going to wear him out. He's not going to want to do it. But like as a parent, I always give him the choice. So I'm like, hey, it's so-and-so's birthday party. Like, do you want to stay home and go to their birthday or do you want to go to Oklahoma to your race? And 10 out of 10 times, he's like, I'm going racing, Mom. And so it was hard as a mom this year. I can't be everywhere at once.
Right.
My daughter has things that she's in. I have different businesses that I have to attend to. And he races literally 5 days out of the week most days.
Yeah,
like with
100
practice.
days a year is a lot.
Yeah, of 150. And that's not even testing. I would say he's at a track like 200 days out of the year.
Wow.
So we have a race team for him, like 3 guys. And so I've been having to like let him go with them this year. Like he's at the Vegas track with them right now. And it's hard, but I also know it's like developing him and I don't ever want to hold him back because I'm anxious or I want to be with him. So that's been an adjustment this year.
Has it?
Yeah.
I bet, to just kind of let him go.
He's my baby.
Yeah, of course.
Even though he's my size, he's my baby.
But he is your baby.
Yeah, I always tell him that. I'm like, I don't care when you're 6'2" or whatever. You will still be my baby always.
Right. So did Kyle start racing that young too?
No. So back then, he started racing at 13.
Okay.
And he got into it because his dad raced and then his brother raced. But what happened was when COVID happened, the first couple months, you're like, okay, whatever. And Kyle's now not doing appearances. There's no practices. Like he's just flying in for the race. There's nobody allowed to go and coming home. And after a couple months, we're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Like we are like, everybody's going stir crazy, right?
Yeah.
Well, the dirt tracks around us were open because they were outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, hey, a couple of the other drivers' kids are doing it. And some of the engineers, like, what do you think if I just take him to go, try out a kart? And so we were in the back parking lot of some guy's race shop. And he's like doing his little thing at 5. And then we went to the track and he says it himself. He was awful to start. Like, it was an 8-lap heat race and he's 5 laps down and we're like, just stay out of everybody's way. And granted he was 5, but we're like, oh, this might not be a sport. And then he just kept going. He's like, no, I'm going to do it. And we were like, yeah, buddy, like you got it. Like, it's okay if you're last, like you're trying so hard. And then one day he was like, oh, I get it. And now he's just like, winning races, winning championships. Like we're so proud of him and he works really hard. Like he works really hard for it. So it's pretty cool to see like a lot of people, because Kyle races, they're like, oh, your kid's only good because you've got good equipment and, all the haters. And I'm like, yeah, but what you don't see is the 3 hours that Kyle and Brexton sit at the kitchen counter and watch his film and then study other people's film. And what that means is you go back and you watch the races because we have an in-car like GoPro, and then you watch an experienced driver on the track. And Kyle will be like, look, man, he entered 2 feet quicker here and this is why he did this. And I'm like, they are constantly working at it, which is, it's cool to see like that at that age. He's pretty dedicated.
He's into it.
Mm-hmm.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
He's lucky he found his path.
Right. Yeah. He loves it. Absolutely loves it.
So what was your master's in?
Industrial organizational psychology.
Whoa. That's awesome.
It's like a business psych.
Yes.
So it's pretty cool. Like when we had a race team, we had about 75 employees. And so we So we call it the upstairs and the downstairs because the upstairs was all like the marketing, the assistants, the, PR, this and that, social. And then the downstairs was where the truck team was. And so Kyle obviously handled the hiring for that. And then I would help with some of the hiring and different things like set up there. But my passion now, I know I just got a certification as a fertility coach.
Did you really?
Yeah. That's my heart.
Yeah. Well, you went through it.
Yeah. So that's probably the next couple of months, I'm going to launch, just take on a number of clients and see how that goes more virtually. And then, one day, Kyle doesn't plan on retiring anytime soon, but I mean, obviously he's 40. So like one day when he retires, I think it'd be really cool to, have maybe like some office hours and be able to see people more face to face and help them with that. So
that's so great.
Future goals.
That's so great.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Industrial
organizational psychology. It was just like a fancy term. So it was kind of cool. What I did back in college is like I did roommate studies. And so did surveys on like, okay, what helped roommate pairs stay together? And so in a business standpoint, it was kind of like, how coworkers on a team could effectively like work with each other and things like that. But man, I haven't touched that in years.
Right. What brought you to that? What interests did you have? Because I would assume your undergrad was in psychology.
Yeah.
What interest brought you on that path?
I just always kind of had a business mindset too. And I found psychology to be so fascinating, right? Like what motivates people and things like that. And so as you take all the different courses, okay, I know I don't want to do this.
Right.
I don't think I'd make like a great marriage counselor, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd be like, because you have to be like very
neutral,
and I don't think that could be me. And so I was like, okay, I really enjoy this business setting and how to help a business grow and thrive. And I think that's why I always start so much stuff because like I just love that aspect of things, like watching, like I started a boutique and now it's morphed into like a whole race thing. And now I'm at the NASCAR races and NHRA this year asked me to come there. And so yeah.
What's your boutique?
So it's just called Shop Samantha Busch, very easy name. But it is all clothing for women race fans. So you are not going to get a men's cut. You're not going to get something with like a driver's head across it. Like it's all very cute, checkered flag, like very stylish clothes that fit women. We typically do sizing from small to like 3 or 4X. So very inclusive. So do that, have the podcast, and then we have our foundation. So it's kind of my wheelhouse.
What's your foundation?
It's called the Bundle of Joy Fund. So we started it over 10 years ago, inspired obviously by our journey. And so we pay for couples to go through IVF treatments. They are upwards of $20,000, not covered by insurance. And there is no guarantee, even if you pay the $20,000 that you're going to have a baby. So in 10 years, we've donated over $2 million directly to couples. We just need to get the updated count, but I think we're at about 108 babies right now.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
so it's pretty
amazing.
Cool. Yeah. That's like my God's mission, right? Like I know exactly what I was supposed to do in my life with that.
Right.
It's so beautiful. And so we've expanded. We used to be at 1 clinic and now we're at 3 clinics, but they branch out through North, South Carolina and almost into Tennessee. And so our goal is to just kind of keep branching out as we go.
What a lovely foundation.
Yeah, thank you.
From your heart, from your experience. That's really, really wonderful.
We love it. It's so cool. I mean, I tell people, so we go sometimes and we're able to do surprise grants, like to the couples that are local. And how it kind of started was when Kyle and I were sitting in the waiting room, like you could overhear people talking, right? And we heard this couple and the guy was like, we're not going to be able to pay for this. And like you could hear him whispering, you could see he was upset, she was in tears. And I'm like, man, like I'm so grateful that we're able to go through this, but like this really sucks that like finances are standing in your way. And so that's how it started. And I always say when you give the grant, like the women are like in tears and they're excited, but there is a visible shift in the men. It's like a weight is lifted off their shoulders and they're like, okay, I can breathe. Because they always tell me, they're like, I was sitting here thinking, even if I save and I work more jobs, like $20,000 to $30,000, that's not easy to save for. And some of these couples, obviously age, time is of the essence. They don't have that long to save that much money.
Right.
And so that's pretty cool to get to see.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Ooh. Love Island.
Love Island? I love it. So many people love that show.
It's so trashy and I love it so much and I'm so invested.
Are you?
And it's funny, I'm not like the biggest reality TV person. And for some reason, that show, And my friends are like, it's so dumb. I'm like, shh, I love it. Do not ruin this for me.
Yeah, I have a couple also.
What are they?
I have a guilty pleasure I share with my daughter, Isla. It is The Golden Bachelor and The Golden Bachelorette.
Do you know my friend's dad was on it?
What?
Yes. Jack Lencioni. Shout out Mr. Lencioni for giving me my first job when I was young.
Oh my God.
He was on it. Yeah.
No way.
I only watched part of it, but it was so funny because, it was great. When we grew up, again, I told you we were hard workers. At 14, my girlfriends and I all worked for his catering company. We were waitresses.
No way.
Yeah. My mom was like, you're never going to guess who's on The Golden Bachelor.
Oh, that's amazing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we love it. Isla and I, when Isla was a senior in high school, she's a sophomore in college now. She's our youngest. And when she was a senior in high school, she started asking me to watch like The Bachelor. And I was like, okay, it's not my thing, but okay. And then The Golden Bachelor came out and we were both like, what?
We love this.
And we watched that and The Golden Bachelorette. And now The Golden Bachelor is coming out again. And she called me and she was like, you cannot watch anything on social or anything about it until I am home in the middle of November. And then we're just going to binge the whole thing.
The whole thing in one night.
The whole thing.
Yes.
So I'm waiting on my guilty pleasure.
Oh, I can't wait.
Waiting to do it with, to watch it with Isla. But
that's a good one.
It's a good one.
Yes.
But Love Island, I've resisted temptation.
So I haven't watched America. I've watched the UK and Australia.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think I get the right streaming service for the US next, but now that I've like gone through the different countries, I'm like, I need to get America. It's a train wreck in the best way you can say it. And like, they're so in love. And then obviously after every season ends, I like Google each couple to see what happened. And it's like broke up. And
yes.
I'm like, man,
goodness.
I was really rooting for you. I loved you guys together.
Another one we watch is Farmer Wants a Wife.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet.
What's kind of cool about Farmer Wants a Wife is they have it's 4 farmers looking for a wife, right? So I think each of the 4 farmers have 8 women come live with them. And then they kind of suss out who they like and vote people off or whatever. But the first season, 2 of the 4 couples are still together. The second season, 2 of the 4 couples are still together. So you're like, they're at a 50% success rate. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's actually really good.
Right?
It's kind of like, I think Love is Blind. I think that they have a decent.
Do they?
If the ones who get married.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good show if you haven't watched that.
I have.
Love
I've watched that. I watched 1 season of that and I am, again, resisting. Everyone here not everyone. There's a few people in the office that are Love is Blinders and they're constantly flying stuff back and forth between.
You're like, don't tell me. Don't tell me.
I'm like, I haven't watched it. I don't have time.
That's a good one. I know. It's like finding the time. That's one thing Kyle and I talk about, pre-kids. I remember we would stay up, especially in his off season, to 4 a.m. and watch 7 episodes of something back to back. And now you're like, oh my gosh, I got to get up. There's preschool, there's this, there's that. And you're like, it's 9:30. Should I start a show? I think that's too late to start a show. What do we do? And now you're like, oh man. So we were joking. We're like, okay, when we go on a trip for our 40th, we're going to pick a show and binge it the whole flight. And then one night there, just watch TV and brain rot, right?
Yep. That's the best.
Yeah.
My friend calls it numb and dumb.
Yeah, sometimes you need that.
Sometimes you just need to be numb and dumb. You're not going to feel Love Island's perfect. I don't need to feel anything that is going on for me. And everyone here, everything that's going on is just dumb, not smart dumb, but we're not solving world peace.
Yes, it's not something.
It's not highbrow,
right?
Yeah.
And I don't need more stress in my life.
No,
I just want to watch them do challenges and stuff like that.
Numb and dumb. Is that what they do on Love Island? There's challenges?
They do. And it's funny. They'll all make out with each other and rate each other and kiss. It's so bad. And people are like, you shouldn't watch that. It's bad. I'm like, but in my defense, I watch it when I work out. So in my head, I'm like, I'm being productive. And it's something that you could zone out for 20 minutes and come back in and you didn't really miss anything.
You didn't miss much.
So that's why I do it then.
That's so funny.
Yeah. That's my hour in the morning. I get up before everybody and I do my Bible study and I go work out and then I'm a happy person. And if I don't do that, everybody's like, Mom didn't get her morning to herself.
So do you mind if I ask you about your religion?
Yeah.
So what religion are you?
We're Christian.
You're Christian.
Yeah.
So it's not like Catholic or.
I grew up Catholic.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're Christian.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny because I look at it now and I'm like, man, we grew up Catholic, and gosh, this can sound bad. I don't mean to say it bad, but like as a kid, it's really boring, right? Like service is so boring.
Yes, it is.
And you're like kneeling and standing and you don't know what they're saying. And so now, that's not what I want for my kids. And so like, we're like, man, Christian music's come so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Like really good music. And like the kids will be like rocking out to it. And I know I don't have to worry when it's on in the car that my 3-year-old's going to say something like wildly inappropriate.
Yeah.
Though she still says the most wildly inappropriate things. So we were hiring a nanny. And yes, we use a nanny. I know everybody gives me so much crap. It's like, you have a nanny. I'm like, I don't know how you expect us to do all this. Like there's just not enough hands like there's so many moving pieces to our life. But my daughter, I had like set up this little like tea party thing. And she goes to nanny. She goes, here's your margarita. And I was like,
oh my gosh.
And after me, I was like, so like we do this, like acting like a prim and proper family. And then there's my daughter. I was like,
oh my goodness.
Oopsie.
I love that you talked about doing your Bible study and that you talk about that, because spirituality and religion, however you want to say it, is, I think, the most important thing in your life, right?
1,000%.
Yeah. If you don't have that base, whatever you call it, I don't care what someone calls it. I think you find yourself often lost and without hope. And if you don't have some foundation to lay your principles and your values on, you're really doing yourself a disservice. Even if you didn't grow up in a religious house, where you don't have to be religious if you have a spiritual connection to God.
1,000%. And I love, like, in the morning at breakfast, it was like, okay, like, let's go around the table this morning. Like, what are we grateful for? Who are we going to pray for? And I think just like as a family, we're so chaotic and we're so go, go, go that's kind of like our, like you said, foundation. And this is cool. I just got off TikTok shop. So we've done Elf on the Shelf.
Oh yeah.
Every year, right? Do you know they have Jesus in a manger now?
No.
Okay. So my goal as a mom is to bring Christmas back to what Christmas was really supposed to be, right? And I will fully admit, we've lost sight, right? It's about the presents and the trees and the this. And now don't get me wrong, I'm going to have like all my Christmas trees and all the things.
Well,
but
of course.
We lost sight of like what Christmas was supposed to be about. And so this year, this whole Jesus in a manger thing, you still hide. So it's baby Jesus with wings and you hide him around the house, just like you do Elf on the Shelf. But then you read like a page out of the story of like how, Mary and Joseph and they're going, all the things, right?
Yeah.
And there's this little card and it is like a positive thing that the kids should try to do. And it literally got delivered today, but it's like, make a card for somebody, give a compliment to a stranger, do whatever it is. Just something positive.
Right.
And if they do it, they get to put this little piece of hay in a manger. And then on Christmas morning, the little Jesus with the wings are gone and Jesus is in the manger. And then you get to like finish the whole story.
That's lovely.
And so that's one thing. TikTok shop sold me on it. And I was like, that sounds really nice for the kids,
It's lovely because you're right. I think the religious belief or the religious celebration piece of Christmas is gone. I mean, Christmas is Christ.
Right.
I mean, Christmas is about the birth of Christ.
Right.
And I don't really hear, that's not in the forefront.
No. And so I thought that was great. And then just trying to raise kids that are kind and respect others. Like, that's fine if you guys don't have the same outlooks and opinions on things, but like, we're going to respect each other. And we're going to say like, I don't feel the same way and that's how you feel. But like, you know what? You do you and that's fine. Like, I'm not going to, and just trying to raise them. It's hard nowadays, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm the mean mom. He doesn't have a cell phone yet.
Oh, you're not alone. I think there's a huge movement right now where tween moms and dads are buying landline.
Oh, okay.
A landline phone. I read somewhere that some people are going back to that. Like, we want you to be social.
Yes.
We want you to talk to your friends. We want you to be independent and make plans with your friends. Why don't we just put in a landline?
I love that. So this is my thing is I don't want my child at this age to have open access to the internet.
Oh, totally.
So one of my friends' sons was at school and one of the little girls brought her cell phone. They went to the internet. They were Googling something harmless. I don't even remember what it was. This was a while back. But She spelled it wrong. And it led to a picture of something else. Anyways, 5 clicks later, they were able to access porn.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, I can't let my child, because he travels a lot, right? And I'm like, I just am not comfortable with him. Like I shut down all that stuff on his iPad. I'm like, we're not doing this or this or this. Like, but I'm like, that's my hard part is, I want him to be a child. I think nowadays kids grow up so fast. And I'm like, at 10 years old, like, I don't want you to have that access. At this age, like at 10 years old, I didn't know what those things were. And, and it's hard. Like, I feel like you're almost like the abnormal one now for, you know what I mean? And it's hard and it's a fight, because he's like, all my friends have phones. And I'm like, great, I'll get you a flip phone. Like if you want a phone to call your friends and to call me and stuff when you travel, I'll get you a flip phone. He's like, well, I want an iPhone. And I'm like, but why? You know what I mean? And he's like, well, all my friends have it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you can't have it. I was like, when a couple of years from now, we'll open the discussion again. But right now, if you want a flip phone, like I'll get you a flip phone.
Right. I wish that had been part of me. Well, we waited. We got our kids' phones when they went to middle school. Because they went to a huge middle school. And I was like, I need to find you.
Oh, yeah.
And that was when flip phones were no more. Like they didn't exist for a while.
Yeah.
And now they're back.
Yes.
But at that time, it was like an iPhone only. It is a big struggle because my kids are lucky. An iPad didn't exist when they were born. An iPad showed up when they were like 9, maybe. Yeah. So we were just regular parents who brought toys to the restaurant and read books to our kids. And we watched Baby Einstein videos, So, but then when iPads showed up, I feel like they had a good base of I can entertain myself. I don't need to play a game or watch a YouTube video. YouTube videos were not kid friendly at the time. No, YouTube didn't even exist in my stratosphere when iPads came out. I feel like we had the last good window. So they had one foot in no technology,
right?
And were young enough when they discovered it that they're savvy at it now as adults.
Yes.
So they got the best of both worlds. And then I have a niece and nephew who have had an iPad their whole life, and so that became what went to the restaurant with us to entertain them. And it makes for a nice dinner for me.
Right.
But I've often wondered, how do they learn to self-regulate in a restaurant?
So that's where we're at. And it's hard. And no shame, because there's been a million times.
No shame. No.
We were at a business meeting and our kids had to come and write all the things. And it was like, okay, we're going to do the iPad because we know that they will sit and watch a movie, right?
Yes.
But a lot of times, especially if it's just Kyle and I'm like, okay, no iPad. Like, we're not bringing anything in. We're going to bring coloring books, Legos, dolls, you name it. And that's what we're going to do at the table because, so we try to use it sparingly. And they don't have a lot of open access to it because I'm just like, no. But again, we homeschool and we travel together as a family a lot. So I feel like we're in a very different situation than, like you said, I would be saying something completely different if my kid went to a big middle school. Completely different.
Totally, yes.
But for us, I mean, most of the time he's upstairs in the classroom and I'm in the kitchen.
Right.
So it's like I'm just going to yell real loud if I need him.
Yeah, right? That is a little bit different. Yeah. Our daughters went to a middle school in Los Angeles that had 1,800 students in 3 grades.
1,000%. I was
want
like, that.
How do I find you?
No, I would want that contact too.
There's no way I could find you. But yeah, what was going on in the internet, that would have been, oh my gosh, that would have been at least 10 years ago, is very different.
It's very different.
10 years ago is a big deal with internet.
I feel like 5 years ago is very different.
2 years ago is different. It changes so quickly. Just at a blink of an eye, all of a sudden.
You're right though. Like, you don't want them to be behind when it comes to technology, but you don't want them to be so dependent on it. Because I even feel like I get like that. I'm like, put your freaking phone down. It does not matter what is on. It does not matter. That's one thing I've been trying to do. So be intentional with our time. Not great at it, but Kyle and I will take our phones and leave them in a different room. Because if they're close to you, it's like a drug, right? We pick them up. It's so bad. And I'm terrible at it. You know, like we sat on the plane sitting next to each other the whole time on our phones.
Right.
But we're always like, oh my gosh, we never have time together without the kids. And then we're like, we're dumbasses. Like we could have just talked for 45 minutes, but instead we were like, did you see this on TikTok? You know what I mean?
Yes.
But like, it's funny because you could say it for your kids, but you're like, no, but really you need to do it for yourself because I'm bad at it.
We used to do Cyber Free Sunday.
Oh, I love that.
Where Sunday you just don't. No one uses their phone. It's like it doesn't stay off in case.
Right.
If we always said to everybody, call me on Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at my texts. Not touching my phone. If the phone rings, I'll pick it up.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just a phone on Sunday.
I love that.
We did Cyber Free Sunday for years, and it was awesome because it forces you to talk to each other in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
When you know there's no option to go entertain yourself,
yes,
you look to entertain each other.
Yep.
Or to get entertainment from someone else. So I loved Cyber Free Sunday. And then, of course, it stopped for some reason. You ebb and flow through different phases.
I think the same thing. There's time, and I think it's like different periods of your life, right? Like Lennox, and she's still in the phase, but when she was 2, like it's rough. Toddler life is rough. And I'm going to tell you, you get on a commercial flight and I'm like, here's your iPad because for the sanity of the entire airplane, I'm not going to be that asshole who's letting you scream for 4 hours. And like, sure, I could try the self-regulation and like the toys. And we do a lot of times, right? Like I'll bring kinetic sand and play, you name it, I've got it in this travel bag.
Right.
But I'm like, you got up at 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
We know you're going to be a mess. Like, so I'm not trying to say like we don't ever do it. Like there are times and places that I'm like, for the sanity of everybody else around us, we are going to give you this. But then, like when we're at home, I'm like, no, we're going to play. Like we taught her the other night how to play War.
Oh, I love War.
We loved it.
Yeah.
She actually did really good. And I'm like, this counts as homeschool. That's the best part of homeschool. Like this counts as homeschool. Like she's learning numbers right now. What's bigger or less than. Like this is totally homeschool.
It is, but it is. It actually is.
It's great. I love it. And there wasn't anything else around and it was fun.
I watched a couple of your podcasts. I'd talked to you a couple times before. Yeah. So I was like, I know what I want. I know what I want to hear from her. And I know that you're a good talker. So I was like, I'm going to let this conversation be exactly that, which is a conversation.
Yes.
And so that's what we did. We had a great conversation. I think that's, when an author comes in with a book, then I'll have a lot of like, here's what I want to hit. But for you, I just wanted to have a chit chat.
I do. I love talking. That's my hardest part sometimes about being on the other side. I have to stop talking.
That's not hard. Don't ever think that's hard. People will tune in to listen to you.
Well, sometimes I just do I did like a one-off on my own with just a friend because I was like, I have so much to say on a topic that I was like, I'll just do a one-off, like just me chatting about stuff. But I really like it. I feel like you learn something every time you do a podcast, whether it's from the guest or just how to make it better. Like, I think it's really cool. And I've learned trial and error. I don't like Zoom podcasts for me. I struggle with them.
Do you?
That like little pause, delay, it's that awkward, like who's going to talk and then you're talking over each other. I'm like a very much in-person person, which is hard. Not that many people live in Charlotte.
Well, good point.
Right. It's not like LA or Nashville where like everybody lives there.
Right.
So like we're going to Nashville in a couple of weeks. And so I actually rented a studio out there to be able to do a podcast like out there to have a special guest on. So I thought that was pretty cool, and I think that's what I'll have to start doing more of, which is nice because we travel so much with racing, that's kind of going to be my goal is to, maybe get some different guests on by going to them.
That's awesome. I think that's a great plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And know your strengths. If you like in person, that's all you need to know. Don't worry about the Zoom.
It's just hard. Do you do Zooms at all?
Not very often.
No.
Very, very, very rarely. I think I've done 2 or 3 this year. One was to be on someone else's podcast, and 2 were to guest on mine. But one of them was an author that asked me to read her book. Her book was so great, but I think she lived in like New Hampshire. Mm-hmm. And then another one is a good friend of mine who's a stand-up, and she lives in New York. So
right, it's hard.
Yeah, but with the good friend, I didn't have to worry about any dead air.
Yes,
it was easy. I think it's easier with a friend. The author was also good. It was for the book Bailey. We had a great conversation on Zoom, but I definitely prefer to be in person.
Room.
Yeah,
I think part of my hard part too is that like a lot of times we're talking about really heavy topics like a miscarriage, and that's really hard to do over Zoom. You know, it's just very impersonal. It feels kind of cold, and you know, you're not together in it. So those were hard for me. So I feel like I'm learning something each time I do it. But
I love it.
Again, thank you to you guys, because I was going down one whole different path, and I'm so happy I went down this path, because then, you know, as opportunities open up or different guests, I'm like, oh, if I would have stuck myself, I remember you guys were like, do not put yourself in a box.
Right.
And I'm so glad I didn't.
Well, I'm so glad you did it too, because I watched 2 episodes. They're so charming.
Thank you.
And it's a real conversation with another very real person. You are very much as you present yourself. You are who you say you are. And that really comes through.
Okay, thank you.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you for doing that. You know, so many people say, I want to ABC, and then don't follow through for whatever reason. And no judgment on that. But when you see someone who says, I want to ABC, and they do it, you're like, that's what I'm talking about.
But it was because of you guys. Like, I'm not just saying that.
Well, that's maybe only partly true.
No, I think
because you took that and ran with it.
But that's like, you guys gave me the push I needed. So, and I know we've probably been talking forever, but I'm going to just tell one quick story. So I had always wanted to write a book on our infertility story. And Harlan Coben was always one of my very favorite authors. And this was back when, it was Twitter back then, was the only thing. And I was doing like a fan Q&A, and I was like, he's my favorite author. Long story short, he comes to a race. And so he's on the pit box with me, and I was like, yeah, I've always thought about, you know, doing this book, whatever. And I was like, but I don't have time. I'm not an author, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, you know, even though I'm like a huge author, like I write stuff on napkins in a cab. He was like, I've got multiple kids. My wife is like, you are not going to some cabin to write. And he was like, just do it. And I was like, I don't know. He's like, no, stop, just do it. And then I did it. And I felt like you guys gave me the same push. Like, I was talking myself out of it. But you guys, as I said, were so nice. Like, most people when I go somewhere, Kyle, are just like, oh, Kyle. And Kyle just happened to mention it. And both of you and Bert were like, wait, no, tell us about us. Wait, don't do this. Wait, do this. And you guys made me feel like I could do it. And then it was literally, I'm not kidding you, we were driving to Scottsdale, and I sent the emails, and I was like, I'm doing it. And
nice.
I was so like, you guys gave me that like baby bird, like you pushed me out of the nest. And I was like, here I go.
I love that.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for telling me that. That's amazing. Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming on my podcast. I had so much fun.
I did too. Thank you. This was great. It was really fun.
It was great. I hope you have a safe and not bumpy flight back to Vegas.
Me too. Literally, as soon as we're done talking, I'm checking my phone for the weather.
I know, right? It's always a little bit dicey. Vegas, you never know. From Vegas to here, sometimes it's rough weather.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think so. You're flying over a desert, but it can be bumpy.
We saw it. We found the one rainstorm in the desert and just went through that for 30 minutes. So I was like, perfect. So here we go.
Here we go. Well, come back again sometime, okay?
I will. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.